We got bigger fish to fry. We got bigger fish. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It is I, Dave, the Tabletop Wanderer, and we are back with some more Shadow of Alnor and Delves and Dangers. This is the copy I got made out on Lulu, right? But we won't be using this one. We will be using the normal, well, the one I printed out right here, which is what's in here. It's in here, but this is the pretty one. Okay, so Shadow of Alnor, we have Killion, Frazvoz, and we now have Saza. Yes, my little goblin thief, rogue sort of assassin that came from the Black Flame saga. She appeared last episode in the Shadow of Alnor. So what happened last episode was our two characters, Killion and Frazvoz, I'm starting to get his name down. I'm starting to get it down. So they went looking for the entrance to the Enchanted Grove, and Killion took Frazvoz to the entrance of the sewer where that snake had disappeared, and Frazvoz found these sort of runic symbols on the entrance to the sewer, and that was a portal to the Enchanted Forest. But something had happened. What happened was the power was depleted from the portal, and for them to be able to go through the portal, they have to go and get the shroud of what's his name. Yes, exactly, what's his name, because his name is weird, and his name is, let me see, we have it here, Morgemra, who was sort of an archangel who killed Thraxmaz the first time in the Enchanted Grove. And so Frazvoz apparently has Morgemra's shroud, and with that they are able to open the portal and go into the Enchanted Grove. But before they could get to Frazvoz's house, however, something happened, and we rolled on a challenge. No, we rolled on a take shroud, and then, oh, that's right, we rolled on Solus Spelunky's framework, an encounter. And the encounter was a group of guards were trying to subdue, capture a little goblin female, and that goblin female was Saza. So we managed, after a brutal fight, because the captain of the guard was just rolling crazy, but we managed to save Saza. Now, our characters, our heroes, are going to Frazvoz's house, and his house is around here somewhere. It's around here, so this will be the Mage's Quarter around here, the Wizard's Quarter, the Mage's Quarter, and his house is in one of these here. And so they were making their way from the Tinkerer's Quarter to the Mage District, and when they encountered the guards and Saza. But they were really beaten up, as you can see here. So Killion made out with 1 HP, 1 stamina, but after being knocked out twice, Frazvoz has 3 stamina, and Saza, she's more or less okay. So picking up from there, let's get into it. Killion is on the ground. He's really hurt. His body is all mangled because the captain of the guard just walloped away on him. And Frazvoz stumbles towards Killion and kneels beside him. Says, Killion, how are you okay? Are you okay? And Killion, laying on the ground, clutching his sides, go, I'm a bit under the weather, so to speak. give me some healing. And Frazvoz says, I've used up my healing stones. I have none left. I haven't. In walks Saza. She walks up to them and she says,
Thank you, strangers. Thank you for helping me. I don't know why you would help me, but thank you anyway.
And Frazvoz turns to her and says, do you have any healing stones so you can heal my friend? Do you have any? I'm all out. And she fumbles around in her little pouch and she brings out a healing stone and she touches the healing stone to Killian, and she's going to heal him for 1d6. So let me get one of his dies out. And she heals him for 5. That is really good. So Killian, my man, it's not too bad. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got all of these down here. Nice. He's still a bit under the weather, like as he said, he's still a bit under the weather, but he's back up on his feet and he gets up and he goes, thank you, Goblin, whoever you are. Thank you. She says,
oh no, thank you. You saved my hide.
And Frazvoz turns to her and says, what was all that about? Tell us, what's going on here? And Saza says,
well, I don't know. I was just walking through the plaza and all these men just jumped right out and said I was looting and stealing, but I didn't do it.
And Killian looks at her and says, was that a question? And she says,
I don't know, was it?
Frazvoz says, look, don't worry about it. Don't worry, you're safe. That's all that matters. We got bigger fish to fry. So, you're safe now. You can go. And she goes,
but wait. I have to repay you. How can I repay you? I've got no gold. I've got no money. But I know. I can help you out.
And Killian turns to her and says, we don't need your help. I appreciate the fact that you healed me. But, it's all good. You can go on your way. And they turn and they just leave Saza behind and they start making their way towards Frazvoz's house. So after a couple of minutes, they get to Frazvoz's house. The house is burnt, just burnt to a crisp. Everything's blackened and ruined and burnt. Smell of smoke all over the place. On the ground, some remains of the snakes that they encountered when Killian went to help him. And Killian turns to him and goes, well, mage, we're here. All I see is charcoal and burnt stone. Look, even your garden's all gone. And Frazvoz turns to him and says, Killian, you should already know how mages work. What you see is not always what you get. And he moves his hands, and Killian can see this sort of dome flickering around the house. Sort of a light bluish and purple. It's covering the whole house. And Killian turns to him, looks up at him and says, come on then, let's get inside. And they start walking towards the house, which is basically destroyed. Killian's looking around and he can see through the dome that the house is burnt. You can actually see the other side of the house because everything just crumbled in, and through some of the windows you could see the other side of the house. And up front, a couple of meters in front of him, Frazvoz is walking, and they walk towards it, and Frazvoz hits that sort of force field and just goes right through it with a... And he's on the other side, and Killian stands there looking. And Frazvoz in the other side, his voice muffled by the force field. Killian walks up to it, puts his hand out, and he touches the force field, and he could feel this sort of coolness touching his fingertips. And he puts his hand more into the force field, and from outside, from inside the dome, this little hand sticks right out from the inside of the dome, grabs Killian by his pants and just pulls him inside, and Killian goes whoa, into the force field. And as he passes the force field, he looks up and he can see the house fully intact. Nothing burnt, nothing. The grounds around the house lush and green with flowers, a tree on the corner of the house rising up, a small pine tree. The house is intact, pristine. And Killian looks to Frazvoz. This is weird. I don't get it. I don't understand. And Frazvoz says, Killian, I threw up this illusion so that the snakes could leave this place and think that the house is done, that all my secrets have been burned to a crisp, have gone up in ash and smoke. But as you can see, it's all here. Do you really think I would let my house burn, Killian? Really? Come on, let's go inside. So they walk into the house. Frazvoz opens these big, massive oak doors, and they walk inside. And as they walk inside, Killian looks. He doesn't go completely inside. He stands at the door, and he can see that the house inside is massive, huge. He takes a couple of steps back, and starts looking at the house. And he looks into the doorway and looks at the house again. And Frazvoz is standing just inside the doorway, smiling. Yes, Killian, it's another illusion. Come on in. Hurry up. We've got work to do. And so Killian walks in, and the house is completely massive. There was no way in reality that what was inside the walls of the house could be true. Because outside the house was a small manor. Not too large. It wasn't just a normal house. It was a sort of a small manor. But inside, it's like a cathedral. Massive. Bookshelves lining every single wall. Some little automatons running around, cleaning and dusting and stuff like that. And out of nowhere, Killian hears this. And this raven plops down on this table near the entrance. Raven looks at him and goes, "Gah!" Killian goes, "You got a pet also?" Oh, Killian, I've got a lot of things that you don't know. Come, let's go to my office. And they walk through that. They start walking through the house. And Killian can see massive, beautiful, lush carpet all the way down the corridor. Books all over the places, bookshelves, books on tables, bookshelves stacked to the brim with books. Books flying around from one place to another, from out of this bookshelf to that bookshelf. The little automatons. And all the while, the raven is flying around. Killian looks at the raven, starts to follow the raven the raven's flight. And he can see, as he looks up, this massive windowed dome letting all the sunlight shine right into the center of the house. Frazvoz continues walking, and at the end of the room, he waves his hand. The bookshelves part, and this staircase of marble starts to appear, and he starts walking up. Turns around. Killian, hurry up, will you? We don't have much time. So Killian's still amazed at everything that he's seen. Candle lights floating in the air. No chandeliers or anything. They're just floating in the air, giving light, warm, yellow light to the whole areas where the sunlight doesn't penetrate. And he's still dumbfounded, and he starts walking up the stairs, and they go up this spiral staircase, and he can see out of the walls, this round wall, he can see through these windows, and he can start to see Alnor, the city of Alnor, growing smaller and smaller. With each step he takes up, the city starts to go smaller and smaller and smaller. And he knows he's in a tower. But from what he could remember from outside, this house doesn't have a tower. They get to the top, and Frazvoz opens this wooden door, and there's this circular room with a big oak desk in the middle of it. A small little chair. Compared to the desk, the table, it is small. And he goes and sits down. He gestures to one of the corners of the room, and this chair starts to float and stops right in front of him on the other side of the table. Killian, take a seat. So Killian sits down and turns from him straight away. Go and get the shroud, and let's get moving. I don't like this hocus pocus stuff. Frazvoz says, in all good time, my friend. So they start talking, and Killian can sense something about him. He can sense that something's changing in him. And all the while as they're talking, Frazvoz is also talking and gesturing with his hands. And every now and then this little spark would fly out of his fingers. So Killian. And the first couple of times Killian was a bit taken back by that. But then it started to, he started to not notice it anymore. And after about 5-10 minutes, Frazvoz turns to him and says, how you feeling, Killian? Killian says, I'm feeling much better. Thank you. That goblin's healing stone helped a lot. Yes, it did. At least it gave you strength to get here. But as we were talking, I've been healing you every now and then. Just little bitty, itty bitty heals. So I think you're okay now. I think you're completely healed. And Killian takes his hand to his chest, side of his chest, and he can't feel any pain anymore, where the blade of the captain of the guard had struck him and taken him down for the second time. And he goes, well, you're right. I don't feel anything now. It's like I'm healed. Yes, you are healed. You are healed. And all of a sudden, from down below, they hear this massive crash. They both jump up, and Frazvoz turns to his side, gestures to a crystal ball that's in the corner of the room, and the crystal ball comes flying, floating towards him, and he picks it up with his hand, and he looks into the crystal ball, and this cloud starts to form, and after a few seconds starts to dissipate and disappear. And Frazvoz, turns to Killion and says, "We got an intruder. Let's go meet them, shall we?" Okay. And that's where we're going to end up today's video. I'm going to be making these videos a bit shorter now. Hopefully you do like them better than those long videos. Let me know down in the comments which you prefer, the shorter ones or the long ones. Okay, so thank you all for watching. Hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you all on the next one. Oh, don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the subscribers and for all the likes on the videos. Let's try and get, a couple more, shall we? Have a great one, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.